Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is Jersey, and today we are bringing you the next part of this base build that we're doing in the brand new game called Palworld. And I'm so excited because we are gonna be working on this shrine, maybe temple, ruins, whichever way you want to call it. I kind of almost call it like a little shrine, little area. It reminds me like of the old days and stuff like that, and I really wanted to make a ruin. So I did a couple big test runs and to try to make this work. And one of the biggest things that I find that is really tricky is kind of putting the pieces together. So once I noticed that I can really put some of these pieces through the wall, I really wanted that effect, right? So you're gonna see we're gonna take things down, putting things in up and down, and trying to find the right level. Right now, some of the things, as you can see right here, the stairs will not clip. Right, it just doesn't attach, and you cannot put another flooring underneath it. I don't know if I'm doing anything wrong or if not working in the way that I really wanted to work. For what I needed to do is just kind of put it up in the air, right? Just kind of try to match it. Now, the hardest part about this is it's not that my workers are getting in the way, by the way. It's not that. It's that you really can't see when you're falling in the middle. So if you really want it to fall perfectly in line, you gotta keep trying and trying and trying. So I was trying to see if I could make another flooring, another way to walk in this direction, but it was gonna look a little awkward and weird. I had this idea, but it's not big enough for in this location. So what I did, we're gonna regroup. We're not gonna do that anymore. And now that we got the main part, the big centerpiece, right? We got the little steps over here. We got the walkway. I really want to start kind of framing the main statue because we're gonna do the offering, right? We're finding all this stuff, and I wanted to make something cool, something that looked like, wow, I'm coming over here and give this offering because that's what we're doing, right? Now, the build evolved from this idea, from this particular moment, to also add all the incubators, kind of like a shrine. And because part of the thing is about capturing, right? It's the power that you're giving so we can capture better the PAL. So I decided to also incorporate the incubators in this build. So as you can see, I added the statue in the very top because I really wanted to look high, but that will change eventually. We're gonna bring it down just a little step lower. That way we can kind of make it feel more in level when you walk in, but also because I wanted to put like little fires behind it just to give it that little look of a shrine and just epicness in a way. Okay, so now I'm making the platform. So now this part was the hardest. Again, there's not a way that we can guide the builds, right, and make it, I want this one and this one to be the same height. There's not a grid system that you can follow that you can look good. So over here, what I was trying to do first is trying to see if I can make like a little ruined tower, but it was not gonna work. I could not do the roof. I didn't have to add the roof. We could leave it open like this, and if you see some of these ideas that I actually ended up doing, you can imitate that and keep that if you like something better that you see. Another thing that I wanted to try to do, as you can see here, it's really cool. Sometimes it will let you clip, and I was able to add a little bit of the stairs this way, but I ended up not liking this particular design, not like this, because I couldn't see both sides even enough, and it kind of did bother me. Okay, so over here, what I was trying to do now is to see if I added the wall, how the wall would look as a backdrop. And it was okay. Also, by putting the wall, I noticed that this piece was not centered. So that kind of helped me to make things a little center. But as you can see, I'm going to be trying over here. I was trying to do like a shrine roof. That way, like the statues being protected maybe from the rain or something like that. But it was too much. It was too tall. It was not working the way that I want to. So another thing that I was trying to do, maybe if I put it a little more diagonal, the platform, instead of being a straight diagonal, but diagonal, it was not going to work, and it was not going to give me the room that I really wanted. So this is when I started thinking, well, what about if I bring it down? And I bring it to the next level down, and it's really cool every time you put something down. I do feel bad for the pals because I'm putting things down and then they come build it, and then I take it off, they leave, they come back, they leave, and they come back. But it's all about trial and error when it comes to situations like this. But as you can see, one of the hardest things is to get things even, because there's not a snapping fixture, there's not a grid, you can't see where you're placing things. So the best thing that I can tell you is be patient, And when you're placing things, place it, go back out, and go back and forth. Now, some people have been asking me through the comments, how do we raise the platforms? So if you're doing a mouse, right, and you want the platform to be higher, see how it's raising up? It's by pushing either the mouse forward more, it kind of, you pushing it forward into kind of clicks and then it starts dragging it up. Or if you're in controller, it's the same thing. It's the right Joy-Con and push it up and keep pushing it up until you see it. And then with the character, you walk and make it and move it and go back and forth. Now, the camera angles in these games are not the best. They're not the best. They're really hard to tell what you're working on, what you're doing, what exactly, where are you placing it. And sometimes when you move those platforms, you really can't see where you're at. So you gotta start using reference as measurements. So something that I did here, so I can get these two little towers over here. And it took me a while to figure out how do I wanted to place them and how to use them, because it's really hard to tell how high you are, you know, and how far apart with the width. So what I did, I used my characters. At some point, you see over here, one's a little taller than the other one. So that wasn't gonna work. I really wanted to add stairs, technically, to come into here, like to have two little shrines. And I think with more work, all of that can be done. Maybe a little more separation, but I have other plans. This is a small little base, right? It's the small little area. This is one of my first bases that I want to do. Eventually, I want to do either another one and a more elaborate and a bigger one and a bigger, and just continue to be bigger and bigger as we continue to grow, right? So what I'm thinking is I'm going to use my character as a measurement. And as you can, I think this is when I kind of started using it, and I'm using kind of staying in the same equal distance and use my character's height to determine that's the height, match it to that, and then kind of match the pillar in the middle in a little bit off of the corner using the base of the flooring to kind of separate it equally and do the same thing on the other side. And that was one of the best ways that I could figure out how to make things level. And like I said, it's all trial and error. You know, maybe you find a better way, and if you do, leave it down in the comments and let me know if you found an easier way to actually do this. Now, this is when I really thought, like, oh, you know what could be cool if I bring the incubators over here, because I think that'd be great. Now, finding the incubator, the right spot, the distance, you're gonna see they're gonna try. I try some a little bit more in the front, then I try them more in the middle, and I actually like them a little more in the front. Can give you a little present. I think that actually look much better. So we're gonna take those off. We're gonna put them right in the front in the corner. And again, all I'm doing to try to make things equal distance, you know, is using reference in the flooring so I can have the same distance from one and the other. Now, I was gonna try to add a couple more incubators, and we do end up adding 2 more. But I did a couple trial and errors, and at first I added those here. I didn't like him, and for the longest time I was running with 4, and I thought like 4 was cool. But later on down the video, we are gonna add 2 more. Now it comes to a point over here that the game, my recording got really, I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened, but it got super pixelated. So I'm gonna try to explain the process, and you're gonna see a little bit of that process. But you should be able to understand the reference, because the main thing is how we are embedding the walls into the mountains. Okay, so now I had this idea to use the bells. I really like the bells. I think it kind of fit the atmosphere, what I was trying to do here, but I couldn't find a really good way to do it. Now, okay, so now we got Raider here, and everybody's doing great. Everybody survived, and then this is where we're gonna start adding some nighttime. Some nighttime lighting right over here now. So what I'm doing is using some of the campfire, because I really want this shrine to really be illuminated at night. I really want it to shine and all that. And you know, I haven't unlocked everything just yet, so we're using the things that we have. Maybe there are better lighting sources or something different that will look better. And if you're in that point in the game that you unlock so much, maybe you can find something that's even better. But I really like this glow, especially for a shrine, because shrine uses a lot of fires usually, you know, so you give you that orange warm glow and movement of the fire. I really like that, how's that bouncing. Now what I did with the campfire is kind of, again, equally frame it with pieces of the back, so that way everything can be an equal distance from front to back. So it's just finding that measurement. Okay, here's another little clip of the raid. We did good. We survived the raid, like always. The characters are doing really well, beating the races. So now here is the point that we're gonna do a little jump, and I do apologize for that. I do apologize that for some reason the software not corrupted, but for some reason it just was unwashable, those little portions in that little section. So so what is missing is how I embedded the defense walls, right? Because these are the defense walls that we're using for part of the shrine. So as you can see over here, so it's basically, we're gonna add a couple more because I still wasn't done. This part of the video was working very, very well. So I'm so glad that we can watch this part of the portion of the video. So as you can see, these are the defense wall, and this is what I used to create all that backdrop that we have, kind of like an embedded castle structure that's being taken from time, like the time has overtaken it. Nature has overtaken this, but part of the shrine is still there. So you can see how it is difficult. It is difficult. It's gonna take you moments and moments to try to get this just right, you know, because as soon as you get to a certain close, the piece goes up, automatically up, and then you go back down and it goes back down, and you're trying to get it to kind of clip together, right? To kind of match. But that's what I did. It's just basically moving and walking close, walking back, moving the pieces, using the rotation to how we can make this fit better, right? And that's the best that I can do. So here I noticed that the other side was more matching the other side. So, and this side, because of the mountain, is not sticking out as much. So the wall actually looks more like a wall. So now we just gotta add the little end backside over here. It's still not coming out, and I couldn't figure out what I did it, and then I realized that I put it behind the wall, and I was like, oh, it's behind the wall. So once we did that, and I was trying to get it flat to the floor, but it didn't go all the way flat to the floor, but that was okay. It's behind, you don't see it, it's a little more elevated, but I'm fine with that, right? And this is supposed to look like a ruin, like an old shrine, you know, and that's the feel that I really want to go with. And as you can see, it's framing really good. Now we added a couple cauldrons. Now the cauldrons is something new that I finally unlocked that I really like. Okay, so this one, okay, sorry, let's talk about this. And here you're gonna see the struggle of trying. At one point I regretted it, and I regretted it moving it, because it wasn't just the same height as the other side, so I kind of wanted to match it, but then I could not get it to land, and it took forever. And those are the scary moments. So sometimes as we're, you know, working on this game, building new stuff on this game, sometimes we're unsure on how things are supposed to work, right? And we're trying to be creative, right? I'm glad that they do let me do this, building into the mountain. I think that's a really cool thing. I don't know if it's gonna be there forever, but I really enjoy it. But right here, you see how I'm striking. So I gotta hang on the wall, as you can see, and then move the piece and try to find a good balance that it works. And then it was too low. It's too low. And I was like, oh no. And we needed to refix it, you know. But as you can see, this is the idea, and that's how I embedded all the other defense walls. So once again, I'm using the defense wall for this backdrop because it's different than using the other walls, because the other walls you need to put foundation so you can put the wall. So this effect can only be done right now, as far as I know, with the defense wall, the stone one. So but after I got it and after I put this, I really like it. I really like the feel of it, right? Like we found this old shrine, and then we made our base right here. We're making our home, and then on the other side it's gonna be another build video that's gonna be working on that. We're gonna work on a proper structure where we are putting some of our first equipment, and where we're gonna do, you know, all the work, the labor, right? I do have already a couple more build videos in mind for this particular base area, and once this base area is done, we're gonna move on and do another base, right? It's gonna be really exciting. Okay, so the other thing that I really I wanted to add a little bit of fire in the back here. Like I want all this to be a little more illuminated at night. I really feel like, because I really want it to be like a wow factor, right? Like it looks like a shrine, you know. Think of Legends of Zelda, or think like Lord of the Rings, or think of anything adventure wise that has like a shrine thing. Now as you can see over here, I can still see the fire clipping through the wall. I really did want that, so I went ahead, took out the fire, pushed it just a little bit more back, rebuild it, and we're gonna head and have the fire now on over here. So now this area is gonna look, it's starting to look really nice. I really like the feel that we're building here in this particular campsite. You know, now the cauldron is a grind, especially because you need 20 flame organs for each of these cauldron. So yeah, so you gotta go hunt. You gotta go catch some pals. You gotta go hunting and catch the pals, and especially if you want to add as many that I did. You know, I need 120 flame organ. So so that's a little heads up there. So if you if you encounter any flame pals, either catch them real quickly or you can defeat them. Either way, you're gonna get a chance to get a drop of the organ if you catch them or if you defeat them completely. Okay, so now another thing that I wanted to do after looking at shrine pictures, some shrines got a little flower, just depending, right? This is a functional shrine still, right? People still come here because I'm coming here and I'm giving my offering, so to get more power so I can catch more pals, right? So it becomes easier. So so I did want to add a little bit of flowers, just enough that it gives you something that people come over here and do that towards the shrine. And I really like that feel. Now this is the one to pick. If you don't need to put flowers, you can pick something else as we keep unlocking new levels and new features of decorating. A lot of this stuff can be reworked eventually, and make it look even better. But I do like the way it's coming out. So now we're adding 2 more cauldrons over here in the very front. And what I try to do is kind of do 2 in the inside, then it goes back out, and then one's on the top, very in the inside, just to have a little bit of movement when it comes to this build, right? And I think it feels really good. It really feels like it is an all abandoned ruin shrine area that you come over here, you're doing your offering. As you can see, you can do your offering there. If you can also, maybe you're doing offering towards the eggs. But I did like that I have an official place where I can put my incubator egg, and that looks nice, right? And it fits the idea that I'm trying to do here. So because I did this, I do want to rebuild the house a little bit. We're gonna retwig the house, but we're not gonna retwig the house just yet, because we're gonna work towards the left. If you're looking right now and watching this, towards the left is where I got kind of like the little farming right now that we unlock. But all of that is gonna be moved because we're gonna work next. That's going to be the next section for our next build video that's going to come to Palworld, and I'm so excited. But as you can see, I really like the way this looks. It just feels nice, and this is what's part of my vision that I really wanted. And once again, it's on purpose. What I wanted to do here is embed the castle, our ruin, coming from the dirt, and that nature has taken over. But guys, I hope that you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to hit that like, subscribe if you want to see more videos, and I'll see you on the next one. Alright guys, see you later. Bye.